30 years ago, on the west coast of Canada, in Nanaimo, British Columbia, I was just completing the paint on my first boat, a 26-foot Brent Swain, when a young woman who had no interest in boats or sailing happened by to give me a hand. She had an interest in adventure. Shortly after, that boat would take me across the Pacific solo from Nanaimo, British Columbia to Brisbane, Australia. The Wave Rover 650, a design based on my solo ocean crossings. Welcome back, Rovers. It's paint day today. It looks like we're going to have some excellent temperatures. No rain in the forecast, and temperatures as high as 26 to 28 Celsius. I'll have to check what that is in Fahrenheit. We're going to be painting the mast, putting a nice top coat on it, the same color as the hull of Wave Rover, and we're going to get the bottom paint on the boat. Big job, time to crack on. So it turns out that the folks at Total Boat are fans of Wave Rover. They've sent me this nice package. Let's just see what's inside. Yeah, as expected, we have 2 gallons, so it'll be 1 gallon of bottom paint. Let's just pull that out. So this is the bottom paint I'm using. It's Total Boat Spartan red color, and this is what I used on Wave Rover, and I'll show you Wave Rover right away, and you can see how good that bottom paint is held up. So I have no problems using this in the future. And the second paint we'll be using is the Total Boat Wet Edge, and we're going with the Hatteras Off-White, which again is the same color as the hull of Wave Rover. I really like the color. It's held up really well. So again, thank you Total Boat for sending this product my way. I do love it. I mean, to the point that I'm happy to use it over and over again. Now they also sent me a second package. I guess this is the way they do business there at Total Boat, which is fantastic. They've sent me some paint thinner, masking tape, a brush to, or a pad to clean the hull, Tyvek suit, a paint tray, and a roller. Great stuff. I mean, it's all you really need to get going, plus a couple of stir sticks. I mean, terrific stuff. Thank you again. So we'll be using the Hatteras Off-White on the mast, and we're going to have a little detail where it'll be white above this tape line, Hatteras Off-White on the business portion of the mast, and then the lower section will be leaving white again, and that will be inside the boat. Now the hull. So how did this Spartan paint hold up? It held up really well. This is just some sort of scum. It's just going to clean right off. There's no getting around that. That just happens. I think it was, I actually picked that up in Port Hawkesbury back in Canada. It was I was in a dead pool sort of area in the marina there. But apart from that, you can see the bottom paint held up really, really well. There was no barnacle growth at all. And yeah, just very, very happy. This is an ablative paint, which means it's a soft paint, and they're designed to just wear away and as anything attaches to it. And it's certainly living up to that. I'll be painting over top of the new work as well, and of course over top of our lashings. Look how easy that moves. And the rudder, look how easy that moves. You can't beat these gudgeon and pintle replacements. So I prepped the bottom of the boat, and it was pretty easy actually. To get rid of that scum line was really straightforward. Just you saw me with the abrasive pad and just a little bit of water, and this was the worst part. This is where all that sort of blue pollution somehow had stuck to it, but that came off pretty easily. And there were parts under the boat that really didn't get cleaned, and that came off pretty easily. You can see it's still a bit wet, and that'll dry off hopefully in the next hour or so, and then we'll be getting paint on that surface. But you can see that the boat is ready in just about every respect. I'll put some tape on shortly, but right now, before it gets too hot, I want to paint the mast. And to that end, I have the paint here from Total Boat, and I've been stirring it for about 5 minutes now, and there was solids on the bottom, but they're now totally dissipated into the pot of paint, and we're going to get that on the mast just as quickly as possible. Just this type of paint, they call this a single part polyurethane. A single part polyurethane, and it's called Wet Edge by Total Boat. You can look at it online to see exactly what the properties are, but I've been very happy. It's what I painted Wave Rover with right from the get-go, and I love it. It's both on the inside and outside of Wave Rover. You know, as always, the biggest part of this job is preparing the surface. The paint goes on so well. I don't know how Total Boat does it, but this is a self-leveling paint. So they have some additives in here that make it look like you sprayed it on. Even though I'm not spraying it on, you get a really nice level surface. The trick is not to put it on too thick. So, you know, I put a bit of paint on and then I spend a good deal of time spreading it out. Terrific coverage. I probably could get by with one coat, but since I have the time, I am definitely putting 2 coats on. One today, and we're going to get really warm temperatures in another hour or two, and then I will put another coat on tomorrow. Big shout out to Jonathan here at the boatyard. He's just another one of the customers, and he lent me this little, it's like a cup with a handle, and this is a liner on it, and it fits these little rollers, and it's just really nice. You can carry it with you with a small amount of paint, and it's perfect for the job. Thank you, Jonathan. So I've got the Spartan bottom paint here, and I'm really happy with this product because if you take a look at the boat, you can just see, you know, after a year, the paint still looks fantastic. So I'm happy with that, and it's an ablative paint, as I've already mentioned. Spartan from Total Boat, very kindly, they've sent me up this. So the trick with this paint is it's got a lot of solids in it, and you want to get that mixed totally into the paint. And the best way to do that is to take part of this can after you open it and pour part of it into your tray. So we'll start with that. Have our paper towel handy. Okay, that should do it. And the reason for that is, as I just said, we've got a lot of solids in the bottom here. And I'll just show you what that looks like. Yeah, so you can see on the bottom of the stick there, it's it's really caked on. So we need to get that all mixed in, and then we pour the paint from the tray back into the can, and we're fully mixed. So I'll just spend the next few minutes mixing this up. So I'm very fortunate to have a helper here today. This is Dan, and Dan is a Wave Rover fan, and he came down to the yard to give me a hand. And you know, what a great guy. He's going to help me out with one of the worst jobs on the boat, which is bottom painting. So thanks very much, Dan, for all the help.
Oh, you got it.
Just reestablishing the paint line, the bottom line here. And again, thank you to Total Boat for sending even this roll of tape. You know, they really think this stuff through. Dan, how's it going on?
Beautifully. There's nothing more satisfying than bottom painting.
Yeah, I'm happy to hear. Happy to hear. Yeah, it looks good. It always looks good when you put bottom paint on. It really, well, it really freshens everything up. Well, this is the most satisfying part of doing bottom paint. That nice crisp line that you get as you pull the tape off. Okay, so we're doing a little bit of maintenance on the engine. We've changed the oil. This is the first time the oil is being changed. It's, just to give everybody, it's 4-stroke 10W30, and this engine takes 450 milliliters, so basically half of one of these containers. Okay, so the oil has been settling in here for a few minutes. Now we're checking the dipstick, and what we can see is that the shiny level of the oil, which looks beautiful and clean, is in between the two marks. That's exactly what we want to see. So we'll put that back in, and we're going to call this job done. So I'm not an engine guy, but you can see that dark color right there. That's the original oil I put in the engine before I left Canada. So it has, I mean, it's not terrible. It still has a certain translucency to it, but it is quite dark compared to fresh oil. So glad to have made this initial oil change. I don't suspect I will have enough wear and tear on the engine by the time I get to Ireland to warrant another oil change. Now, time to clean up all these paper towels. And if you're wondering, why am I so almost wasteful with this paper towel? I can tell you, when I went to Costco to provision, I bought I think it must have been a 20-pack of these. They only sell big packs, and so I am paper towel rich. Well, Rovers, I've done what I can do on the preparation of Wave Rover. I've painted the bottom and got the mast ready. Right now I'm in a standby mode as the boatyard staff organize the schedule to get the boats launched. So I'm ready, I'm standing by. It's beautiful weather, the winds look good. I'd love to be out there. It's going to happen soon. The mast and the painting all look good. I'm pretty happy with the results. The paint from Total Boat was great, as always. So now I think I'll start organizing the inside of the boat, and I'll show you that as I get a little further along. It's just been like a workstation for me, the inside. I have all my tools out and not organized at all. So that needs to be organized, and I'll dig into that today. As always, Rovers, thanks for watching, and forge your own adventure.